And Kim, if you would like to introduce yourself, tell us about your background teaching all the AP courses and all the CS
Yeah,
courses out there in Washington State.
I'm in Washington State, near Portland, Oregon. Um, and I have AP Computer Science A, AP Computer Science Principles, Video Game Programming, and Coding 1. And I use CodeHS for all of that. I also use Unity for video game programming. And yeah, been teaching 38 years and computer science for probably 14 of that time.
An expert. Thank you so much for joining us today. And we will
Oh,
have
fun.
Steve also. Kim, if you'll go to the next slide. So what we've got here is a shared document. And what we're going to do is use this document. So Thomas and Haroon and Mark and Matt, I'm going to put a link in the chat. And you can also scan with your phone if you'd like to, the QR code there to access this document. But basically what this is going to be is our place to share resources. That is what this professional learning community is all about. Sharing best practices, sharing ideas, talking about our things that worked in the classroom, talking about things that maybe didn't go so well, and we want to improve upon and get some other folks' opinions on how we might make adjustments or tweaks for the just helping our students as best as we can tackle this very technical AP CSA course. So go ahead and open up that shared notes doc. And Kim, if you'll go to the next slide.
Oh, whoops. Um,
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so our goal here, like I said, this is a collaborative space. And what we want is for you, APCSA educators, to share ideas, resources, discuss assessments and test prep strategies, explore effective teaching methodologies, refine your plans, refine your pacing, and all of this discussion and sharing with the goal of improving student outcomes on the exam and supporting each other in delivering high quality instruction, mostly based on using CodeHS tools and curriculum. I assume that you all are familiar with CodeHS since you have joined us here today for this uh, meeting today. So next slide, please, Kim. Thank you. If you are new to us, which I'm pretty sure I've seen at least 3 of your names before. So I don't think we have any newbies, but if you are, you can sign up for the CodeHS curriculum at codehs.com/signup. And we will be mostly talking through the curriculum that CodeHS provides for CSA, but maybe some other resources and tools will come up also. All right, next. Thank you. Perfect. And so we're going to do some introductions. We are a fairly small group here today. So we'll ask you to, if not come on camera, because I see that folks still have not come on camera. But if you're shy, that's okay. We'll ask you to participate in the chat or come off mute for this discussion-based session today. So what we're going to do is we are going to first talk about the updates to the CSA exam. Kim and Steve are going to share what they have seen with the updated CodeHS curriculum. Kim's going to talk a little bit about how it's going so far. I mean, Kim, you're what, a month into the school year?
yeah, just
Yeah, okay.
almost.
So
Oh, almost.
yeah, a month into the school year, a month into this new curriculum. And so we want to hear where you're at, how it's going, what are you using to help students start with a bang in this CSA course. Then we'll talk about CodeHS updates. The Cortado course is our new CSA course. We also have some labs coming soon and ones that have carried over from the previous version of the exam coming from the College Board. And we'll just talk a lot about pacing, like how are we going to get all this content covered this year? And then we'll also talk about a very specific CodeHS resource question of the day. We do have a brief survey for you at the end. We want to make sure that because this is a professional learning community, that we can hopefully all gather again together in the future. This will be a quarterly professional learning community meeting, and we hope to see you in the future. And so our survey will ask, what kind of times work for you, what kind of days work for you, and a few other questions about what you liked and what you want to see in future PLC meetings. All right. So again, this is different from a webinar. This is not sit and get. And I see Thomas has a come on camera. Thank you, Thomas. And if anybody else would like to, we encourage you to come on camera and come off mute today and ask questions, answer questions, share resources, and join the conversation. And I think we have one person who is still trying to join us, but just in case you didn't access the shared notes doc, go ahead and do that because that's where we're going to be dropping our helpful resources and ideas today as we go through this conversation-based session. All right, well, with that, I'm going to kick it to Steve and Kim to introduce themselves, which they already have a little bit, but maybe you could talk a little bit about how long you use CodeHS. And while Steve and Kim are doing that, I'm going to put your names in the chat, and that is the order in which we will ask you to speak this evening as we go through these different discussion topics. So Kim, you told us how long you've been teaching. You told us how long you taught AP CSA. How long have you been using CodeHS?
Been using CodeHS for 2 years. And yeah, just the
And
two years.
finding it a good resource?
Yeah, my first year, my CSA class, I got my best scores with that. Not so much last year, but the first year I got really good scores. So um, that worked out really well. There's been a request for the slides to be shared. Is that something we can do?
Yeah. We can definitely share slides. And I can, while other folks are talking, I will run down and get those.
Okay. So yeah, I've taught
All right.
AP CSA for 10 years. I've taught CS longer, but just CSA specifically for 10 years.
Awesome. All right. So Steve, how long did you say you use CodeHS to teach?
Yeah, hey everyone. I taught CS for 11 years. I used CodeHS for 7 of those years, including every year I taught AP CSA or AP CSB. Um, I live in Houston now. I've been here the last 2 years, but I lived in DC before then and taught my first 9 years of teaching were there. But yeah, I taught everything from sixth grade coding all the way up to CSA. Used the Nitro course, loved it. CodeHS. As soon as I discovered CodeHS, I was like, this is all I'm using now in my classroom because the
Mhm.
resources are just great. And so while I've not taught the Cortado course because now I'm a PD specialist in CodeHS, I love the Cortado course. I think it's one of the coolest courses I've gotten to see. So I'm excited for you all to use the Cortado course and also for us to get to talk about it together.
Awesome. All right, Thomas, how long have you been teaching? How long have you taught CSA? And how long have you used CodeHS?
Well, as he was talking, I was trying to look through my files and see. I don't know. It's been so long, I can't remember. Um, some of the earliest things I saved are back to like 2009, 2010. So I think I've been teaching CSA for like 15 years. And I started teaching principles, not the very first year it came out, but maybe like the second or the third year, whenever principles came out, that I don't remember. Um, and I've used CodeHS from the beginning.
Wonderful. Well, welcome to this professional learning community. I hope we get to share lots of great resources today. And Haroon, you're next.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, hello.
Hello, hi from New Jersey. And I've been teaching computer science, not AP CSA. I think I'm in wrong group or something. And I'm a career and technology education teacher with CompTIA, cybersecurity, CISA certification. And I just started uh, cybersecurity classes and AI classes. And I'm preparing curriculum for the district. and I will be teaching also for next 3 years. This is my first year using CodeHS. I'm still navigating, and I have also a professional background experience, IT manager, and a network administrator, some Cisco certification. So my path hopefully will be more CTE, career and technology education, with the hopefully especially new upcoming career kickstart AP classes coming. And I was on somehow suggesting, committee, but school I changed it so they don't have it. So hopefully I am leaning towards more cybersecurity and AI classes, and Cisco Academy. I teach before, so, and I'm looking for anyone, about the learning, because it has been long years. I taught maybe in Texas 7, 8 years. Then I became, IT manager, district IT. Now I'm going back to this path. So I'm open suggestions, including CodeHS and navigating cybersecurity and AI classes possibilities. I'm doing my master on national cybersecurity.
Wow, well, you sound like a busy person and with a ton of great experience to share with your students. So thank you for joining us. And
Not as a
next,
teacher. So I am open. I am novice because many things change. So I'm open to every and any kind of suggestions from my fellow friends.
absolutely. Thank you. All right, well, Mark, welcome and tell us a little bit about yourself.
I started teaching physics in the Houston area around 2015, and over time I've been moving towards Python. And then my wife wanted to move to the Colorado Springs area, so I taught in that school district, and now I'm teaching in both the high schools just north of Colorado Springs and Monument. And I'm also the focal for the Innovation Center. We're getting together for our more advanced classes. I use CodeHS for my Python courses, and I use it to supplement my CSA course, which I do a lot with CS Awesome, but I also really enjoy the sandboxes for doing the coding in any of the languages. I find that for my PLTW, PLTW is really big here, Project Lead the Way, in Colorado, that with the principles, I need to use Visual Studio Code, but with the other courses, I really find that the CodeHS is great for supplementing the content.
Well, welcome. You are a familiar face, a familiar name here around CodeHS webinars and workshops. So I'm so excited to have you back again this year. Thanks for joining us. All right, and Matt.
Hi, yeah, I'm Matt. I'm not going to turn the video on, and we've been having some internet issues here for the last decade. No, the last day or so, especially here. If I turn the video on, I think it's going to drop out on me. So, sorry about that, everyone. I'm here in Gilroy, California. Been teaching for 29 years now. Computer science for 6 or 7, I guess now. AP for just 3. This is my first time using Code High School. The district decided we're going to do Code High School this year, so we're doing a Code High School. So I am brand new to this part and just trying to hang on right about now as we finally got the students all enrolled in everything.
Yes, starting the year with those routines and a new curriculum, that's a lot. So welcome and thank you. And Angela, if you are ready, we are just sharing a little bit about our teaching background.
Boy, sorry, I am late to join here. So, this is my first year teaching AP Computer Science, and I've used CodeHS for other courses before, but of course, this is my first experience in AP. So, yeah, just looking for ideas and figuring it out as I go along. But I've been teaching for about 12 years.
Awesome. Well, welcome. And I hope we get some great sharing of resources and ideas today. So Kim, next slide, and I'm going to pass it off to you to talk about CSA. Steve, feel free to pop in here as we talk about the Cortado course. And I'm just excited to hear how it's going for you all. So I will hand it over to you, Kim.
All right. So we do have changes from previous CSA course. So the new topics that we have are the text files and data sets. Those are in Unit 4. I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to the fact that CodeHS is going to help me learn it. So, and then they took inheritance out, and there's some people in the community that think we shouldn't have, but that's just, it is what it is. And it's only 4 units instead of 10 units, but they're 4 really long units. And then the exam revisions, instead of a 50-50 test, it's 55% multiple choice with 42 questions instead of 40. So I don't know why we needed 2 more, but we did. And 4 answer choices instead of 5. And then the free response question is 45% of the score, should be shorter questions according to the College Board. We'll see. And the third one is just array list, not arrays or array lists. So, and if you wanted the complete description of the official changes from the slides, you can click the link on that. And then I'll just do these 2 slides. CodeHS made updates, or made like a whole new curriculum actually, to match the College Board's updates. And it's awesome. I've been using it since the end of August. And I've already gone through all of Unit 1 myself, and it's awesome. All new videos. The curriculum's really great. It uses this PRIM model, predict, run, investigate, modify, and make. And there's several, instead of just an exercise where the students like look at it, click run and go on, they look at it, but they have to do some things with the activities and record their observations. And it's much more like interactive with the students. So it works really well. And then the CodeHS matches the College Board units exactly. So you have to be careful because it's not like one section per day necessarily. So we'll look at pacing in a second. But those are my thoughts on it. Those of you that have looked into the changes and whatnot, we're just kind of go around and see what thoughts you have on it or questions you have on it, either way. Going back through the same order. So we'll let Steve put his 2 cents in, and then we'll go back through that same order.
Yeah, just echoing Kim, I love the prim activities. They've been great. Like I just think they're super fun for having students actually break down the code and like kind of one putting a lot of the thinking on them to actually like process what's happening and analyzing the code because we know sometimes that's a transition when they take the multiple choice portion and they actually have to break down code and run through it. Like the more practice they can get on that, the better. So I've been loving the prim activities for that. And also um, the text files unit I have done, it is great because I also was like, I need CodeHS to teach me these this text files too, because I don't know what this is, but I really like the text files unit when you get to Unit 4. It's pretty solid. It's a lot of fun. And it's really cool exercises. I'm glad that College Board added them in because they're very realistic coding kind of projects, it feels like. And I think it'll be a lot of fun for students as well too. And I did
Great.
look, I think for the free responses, I was curious. I think looking at the course exam descriptions, the ones from this year are like 1 page shorter than the ones from the previous one. So maybe they're a little shorter, but again, that'll be as more stuff comes out, we can kind of compare. But they look like they're maybe like a little bit shorter in instruction wise. But yeah, I'm interested to see as more FRQs get released too, what if any changes to the other ones, what they might look like.
Well, what I was thinking too is they at least gave them still 90 minutes. And we can use the old FRQs to practice. So the new on the test, they'll go, oh, wow, that was easy. So
Yeah.
hopefully. Thomas, do you have any questions or comments about the new curriculum?
Uh, well, I guess not really. There's my only comment, I guess, would be the investigate.txt files. There's it's kind of easy for me to look at the code and know if they did it right and know if they did it the way I think they should. And reading people's sentences, it makes me feel like an English teacher, which I don't really like. Um, so That would be like, I guess, my only comment. We did have something just today. We were working on a assignment called buggy quotes, and the auto grader seemed to be picking up that there was an error in the investigate TXT file, which I was really kind of blown away by because you can write almost anything you want any way you want in a response as to like what's wrong. So I'm or what you had to fix to make the thing work. So I'm wondering how the auto grader actually goes through an someone's little essay thing about why something's working now, what they fixed, and how it knows that they wrote something acceptable.
I had a student that it said that it was doing the investigate.txt file, but it was they didn't add two println statements to their code. Their output didn't match, even though it said they didn't finish the investigate file.
Because I had some students, I looked at their code, I looked at the solution code, and they fixed all the bugs, but it still wasn't passing. And then one student said to the other, "Oh, in your investigate file, you didn't put in that it was a syntax error." And then they rewrote their response, and then it passed the auto grader. And I was kind of blown away by that because I didn't realize the auto grader was actually checking the investigate file.
Steve, do you have anything to add on that?
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. And I just pulled it up to double check. Yeah, so there are only a few of the prim activities where the autograder actually checks the investigate file.
Uh-huh.
That is one of them, and you are correct. It's actually looking for if they use the word syntax and logic the correct amount of times, I believe
Gotcha.
is what it's looking for there. So
Uh-huh.
that's how it's checking that one. We did just update our autograder interface so to give a little more kind of feature flexibility on them. And I know one of the ones that you can do is you can toggle a contains content autograder. So I'm pretty sure that's what it's doing. It's checking to see, making sure that there are, and you can say for the autograder to be like, I want to count the word syntax 5 times and make sure that there's, I don't know if there were 5 syntax errors. I'm just picking a number, but
I understand.
that's what it's doing. I believe on that one is it's checking to make sure that they got the correct syntax or logic in the correct amount of times. Not all of the prim ones do the auto grader. I think it's only like a couple, but the buggy quotes is one of those where it is checking.
Yeah. Well, because on one of, and I understand, thank you for the clarification. On one of the previous assignments, where I don't know, I can't remember now if it was mine as I was going through the unit or one of the students, but it didn't pass, and I was like messing around with the investigate file, and if I made it like really bad, it still would pass even with that. And I'm like, yeah, it's not checking that. And then when we went to this one, it's like, wait, it is checking it. And I'm like, wait a second. So one of the things that creating a little bit more work for me this year is going through the unit. And as the teacher, I can I can code it and I can get it to work. But I'm trying to find pitfalls that can really stress out the students because of something, I don't want to say silly, but something maybe they just don't get, and the auto grader is really good, but sometimes, uh, it just can cause some problems. Like for instance, I was doing one today with compound operators, like plus equals, minus equals, times equals, divide equals. And you had to change the code in the assignment from, I don't know, counter equals counter plus one to counter plus plus, things like that. And there was one that said, make the health, I think it was the health of the player go down by half. And I'm like, I know the auto grader is going to be looking for divide equals, but I'm going to be cute and I'm going to put in times equals zero point 0.5. Now that works. That makes the player's health go down by half, but it wouldn't pass the auto grader. And then I changed it to divide equals by 2, and then it passed. And so what I like to do with things like that is put little notes in my Google Classroom for the assignments they're working on so that they can refer back to that and I can point them out and say, when you do this assignment, some of you may think, oh, I can multiply by zero point 0.5. And you can and your code works, but if you want it to pass the auto grader, you better put divide by 2, you
Mhm.
know. So that for the Nitro course, I had a lot of those resources already established. And now this one I'm going through, and sometimes I can perceive where a pitfall may be, and sometimes I don't. and I have to wait until the students start telling me something's not working right, and then on the fly, I got to kind of figure out, oh, okay, how can we make it the way it's really supposed to be, so it, so it passes.
So
So I
Thomas,
mean,
at the end of
we'll get
this,
there, but
yeah,
it's all new.
at the end of the school year, we'll all be anxiously awaiting your Google Doc that you will share with us.
Okay, right.
Thomas, have you tried doing the AI, like when you go to grade, like having it use the AI to grade it, so like to grade their program so it'll tell you what's wrong with it?
No, I don't know
Well,
about that.
yeah, it's a pro feature.
Is it a pro
So
feature?
yeah,
Oh,
Oh,
okay. I didn't realize. Okay.
all right.
yeah,
Well,
I'm on the free plan.
yeah. Well, thank you for sharing all that. Haroon, are you teaching CSA? Do you want to share here? I think he was in the car, so maybe we'll skip him.
Oh,
All right, Kim, is
okay.
Mark next, I think?
Mark's next. Mark, what do you have any comments or questions on it?
Just CSA in general. I'm
Or
enjoying it.
the new-
I haven't played around much with the well, the AI I haven't done much either, but I haven't done much with trying to edit the problems with the auto graders so that they're going to be more unique, but that's not going to be a big issue for this first year with students looking up answers. I'm not using it quite enough to be able to give you a whole lot of input and more listening to what y'all are experiencing to use it more heavily.
Okay. Thank you. Matt, do you have anything to add?
Sorry, nothing to add right now. Sorry.
Oh, that's fine. That's just fine. Angela, do you have any comments or questions on this new curriculum?
Do want to say I absolutely love the AI feature. So to me, that's worth the pro version altogether because the feedback that it gives saves me so much time. And then especially if I'm trying to help students debug their code, a lot of times I'm super busy and I don't want to stand there and read through all their code, and being able to just quickly do that and spot all the errors and correctly phrase feedback is just incredibly valuable. I super love it. The one thing I have noticed that I'm not loving, I guess is just kind of an ongoing issue, is that if they have a endless loop, if they have an infinite loop, it crashes, right? Rather than giving them a response. And I really wish there was a better way to deal with that, because as students are learning those loops, they're obviously going to hit those, and it just would be really nice if we had a better way to deal with that rather than crash and have to go back in.
Yes, that is frustrating for them and me. Okay. Chris, do you have any questions or comments on the updated curriculum?
Hello, I'm new to
Hi. Welcome.
CodeHS, and yes, and I'm learning everything, and I also love the AI features. So that's all.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, next topic is the pacing, and I have a couple slides on this. So I went through the CED, and if you look at the unit at a glance pages, it tells you how many days for each part. So I'm gonna flip back to that. So like, and I didn't know this, like somebody had to point it out to me. So like topic 1.1, it says 2 instructional periods, 1.2, 2 instructional periods. And so like CodeHS has it matching this. So like before, like with the Nitro, it would be like 1 section per day, kind of is what you would do. But now because they wanted to match this, you want to look up how many days you should probably spend on each part. And that's College Board's version of it. And I just added up those days for how many days it would be. And then CodeHS's syllabus put an overview, like at the beginning of each unit, it says how many hours you might want to spend on that. And I'm sure that includes like the test and everything else. So it's pretty close to what's there. And then when to do the College Board labs, that's helpful to know. Like I never knew before when I should do them. And so this is CodeHS's site. And if you scroll down and look at the last sentence in there, it says Unit 1, do this in Cortado after Unit 1. So the receipt lab, do after Unit 1. Magpie, you can do. It's like whichever lab you decide to do, you can do it at that time. So Magpie, you can do after Unit 2. Oh, it says all but Activity 5 can be used after Unit 2 in Cortado. So it's really helpful to know when that you can do each lab. So that's helpful. And they've got a note for all of the labs, not just the new four new ones. And then Steve and TJ. Steve, did you make this pacing thing? Are you the one that made it?
Yeah, we made it. Yeah, it's a handy guide.
Okay, so I'm going to demo this super cool pacing guide. And this follows CodeHS's pacing plan, right?
Yeah, it literally follows coaches and college boards. It's the instructional periods document that you showed of like two instructional periods, two instructional periods. That's what this is from.
Okay, perfect. So I highly recommend that you all click on it and bookmark it. And so this is like week 1. You know what you should do is like he just said, day 1 of 2, day 2 of 2. But let's say on Friday you have an assembly, you can just click that day and it moves everything out for you. Or let's say on section 1.3 you spent an extra day, you can just click that and move everything over. So it shifts things around for you and just moves it all out. It's really awesome. And then also, if you're on a block schedule, you can switch it over to block schedule. Oh, look, you can print it too. There's every time I look at this page, there's something cool, new and cool about it. So Steve, you want to add to that? What else have I missed?
No, you nailed it. Yeah, so it's the toggling feature is cool, right? The default view is if you have 45-minute instructional periods daily, because that's what College Board, when they say instructional periods on their documents, they mean 45-minute periods. So that's the default view. But yeah, if you toggle to block schedule, it'll adapt to, and you'll see it just kind of condenses. So like you'll see less day 1 of 2 and day 2 of 2 because now you have the full 90-minute block schedule. So yeah, those are the only two configurations we have on it right now. But it is set up for the whole year, so you can kind of visualize it, play around with it. Yeah, if you want to print it and hang it up, you can do that too. And yeah, a lot of the other stuff that Kim pointed out too, we linked there down at the bottom as well for like the just a handy page, kind of trying to make a one-stop shop for you of kind of a lot of the resources. So yeah, definitely use it. Again, it's just synced directly up to College Board's recommendations. So all we did was take it and make it a little more uh, one page friendlier, user friendly version. So, but it's the same recommendations College Board's going to give you. And as Kim said, our lessons are linked to their lessons. So you can definitely, their pacing would apply to our pacing as well.
Perfect. And that exam review course is handy. So having these resources at the bottom is nice. Okay. So does anyone have, like, if you have ideas on pacing, we could put it in that document that we shared, or if you have a different pacing that you're going to use. So we're going to go around and talk about pacing? Yeah. Okay. So using that same order, and you've got it on there. Steve just talked. So Thomas, do you have any thoughts on pacing or questions about pacing?
No, not really. I'm using the resources that you guys provided and, you know, setting up my pacing that way and just trying to stick to it.
Okay. And Harun. Harun, do you have anything that you want to add to pacing conversation? Okay. Oh, bye, Chris. Thank you. Um, Mark, do you have anything that you have questions about or want to share
No,
about
I
this?
love your guide. I'll take a look at yours. I've been using someone else's.
Yes, it's awesome. Matt, any thoughts?
Well, mainly just want to say thank you for that guide. I think it looks really cool. I'm on a slightly weird schedule. I do two short periods and two long periods each week. So kind of that hybrid block and standard. So it's going to really help me out with the pacing. So looks cool.
All right, thank you. Angela.
I just found this a little bit ago or last week, I guess, this pacing. And so it's been nice to kind of gauge where I'm at. I'm having to play a little bit of catch up right now so I can get back on schedule, but it's great to have it to follow. Thank you.
I would love to say I'm following it and going as fast as I should be, but I'm not. So next resource, question of the day. We want to talk about like ideas for using this. So I'll just share. So question of the day is, they have one for CSA, CSP, Python, and JavaScript. And I'll just click on the link. Maybe, yeah. So this is going to the CSA question of the day. So just a couple of things about this. One is you can move back and forth, or you can move backwards. Once you go backwards, you can move forwards in the different days. So this is yesterday's. But you can also, something I figured out is in the address bar, you can change the date. So if I wanted to go back to August 1st, I could put 08-01 up there. I think it starts August 1st. So if you wanted to like go back because like your class isn't quite there yet, you can start over at the beginning. But you can show these are five but the APHS is 4, but still it's great practice for them. And then I don't know, Steve, can you answer this? There's a way to tell how many question of the day problems kids have done. Can you tell me how to
Yes.
get that?
So if you I can show, or you can show with one of your classes. It's from the quiz scores app. If you go back to like your CodeHS homepage, on the left hand side, if you went to quiz scores, that quiz scores app, and then you should see QOTD scores up at the top.
Oh, yay. Okay.
And that shows you, yeah, for all of the questions of the days for any class, for any of the 4 ones you could see for your section.
Okay. So yeah, so one of my students is doing really well. I know I shouldn't show that, so I'm gonna get off that slide soon. But yeah, so and I use it, I have it on my planner that I show every day and encourage them to do that while I'm doing attendance. And then sometimes I will, if I feel like we have time, I will we'll do it all together. But usually by then they've already done it. So that's how I use it. So if you have any ideas, please put them on that document that we have, but let's go around and see what everyone's, like how you use the question of the day.
Yeah, and Kim, before we do that, you're inspiring a question for myself. I'm realizing I don't know the answer to. If you do demo the question of the day live on your teacher account, can you clear that for a period later in the day when you would need it again?
Oh, I don't think so. That's a good point.
Steve, do you know? I'm realizing I've worked here a year and a half and I don't know.
I'm investigating.
Because that would be a nice feature to have. Like if you have multiple class periods and you need to show the question of the day, because we have all these other languages too. You know, I'm not sure if many teachers have multiple CSA courses, but I'm sure folks have multiple Python courses and multiple.
Okay, let me just pick something and not really think about it.
Yeah, it looks like you can't, but that'd be a good.
Yeah, that would be a good feature.
Give me a
There's
feature
no
request.
clear.
Yeah. Okay, I will type up a feature request. Thank you
That
for
would be good.
exploring that with me, and I'm sorry to take over.
Okay, Steve, did you have anything to add to what we talked about?
No, I loved using this. It was a lot of fun. Your students can subscribe to it and they get an email directly to them if they like. That was something I it was kind of fun to do. Like, that way they got a little reminder. But yeah, I liked doing these, having them do it at the beginning of the day, and kind of starting class with it. It's cool. And if you don't, even for your non-AP classes, the Python and JavaScript ones are pretty cool too. Just giving kids more opportunities in kind of a fun way, and you can kind of make it a fun competition of, you know, who's answered the most, who has the highest percentage. Like you can come up with some incentives there, which is cool.
How do you subscribe?
Oh, so if you go, if you go
Whoops.
back to the
Did it
question of the
again.
day in general, sorry. um, if you just click on it from your end, yeah, QOTD, you should see up at the top, and students can see from their side nav menu too. So if you pick one, from when you're viewing, there should be a bar up at the top that says subscribe here. Yeah.
Oh,
So I
it's
just
right
had
there.
students click that when they were viewing one, and then it
Okay,
sends them an email each day and says, don't forget to answer your question of the day. Um,
perfect.
which I think is pretty cool. Yeah, but students also can get to the question of the day from their left-hand side navigation menu. Um, it'll look a little bit different on their end, but it is like, yeah, they can get to it, pick whichever one they want to do. But the subscription gives them a reminder to do it, which I think is nice.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Thomas, do you have any other thoughts on how we might use question of the day?
Um, my class this year for CSA is, I think, 17 students, which is a nice size for teaching, but I'm debating whether I want to get them to all sit around a table up at the whiteboard or go up to the whiteboard and answer it together. The past few years I had class sizes of like 5 or 6 or 7, and it actually worked really well. I mean, sometimes I would just like sit sort of behind them all and give them the dry erase markers and say, go up there and work it out and debate it and see which answer you think is right. And most of my groups were good kids and they worked well together, and it was a really good thing. I don't really, uh, I'm kind of debating myself how to incorporate question of the day into the class because of the bigger class size. I'm not sending 17 kids up to the whiteboard, obviously, at the same time.
Mhm.
So, so I'm thinking of maybe breaking them up into groups or, something like that. Uh, but like I said, with 5 kids up at the board together, especially, being good kids in an AP class, it really worked well. They taught each other uh, very well. A couple of years ago, I had some kids get really good scores on the AP exam, and they worked together well the whole year. I pretty much hardly ever even taught the course. They just taught themselves, and I just answered questions.
Cool. Thank you. Um, and then I think we go to Mark. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, Mark.
with the questions of the days, I haven't started really using them yet, but I am planning on using them for both CSA and CSP. Um, just haven't really, not yet. It's just what to squeeze in.
Okay, thank you. Matt. Wait, Mark. Matt is not here. Angela.
Been using question of the day. Previously, I had tried using it in Python, but it seemed like it was kind of randomly grabbed, so stuff we haven't necessarily learned yet. Are the questions of the day pulled randomly from the curriculum, or does it start from the beginning, or how are they selected?
I feel like they follow the curriculum. Steve, is that the intention?
I can check. I think for AP, it might be a little different than the Python and JavaScript ones. Um, I can double check. I think you're right that the Python and JavaScript, it kind of just pulls from the gamut of Python and JavaScript, but I can find out about the AP ones, though I'm pretty sure they do tend to follow the curriculum. Yeah, like I'm looking for the AP ones, you should be good. Like I'm looking at this week's, they're all ints and scanners and casting variables, which would be kind of that first
Yeah.
unit. So You
Okay,
should be
so
good for
maybe
the AP
I'll
classes.
jump back. Yeah, I'll jump back on board then. With the Python
Yeah.
ones, it was frustrating for kids because they're thinking, oh, am I supposed to know this? Because when did we learn this? And we hadn't. So I kind of gave up on it. No
Yeah,
fret.
yep. And I think the other thing too for Python and JavaScript, we have so many Python and JavaScript curriculums, but for the AP, we only have one curriculum, so it's very easy. I mean, for AP, the curriculum is the curriculum, so it's easy to follow it for those ones. So, yeah, I just double checked all the ones that are out so far are all Unit 1. Great.
And I will add that I think they are supposed to gradually, for all of them, all gradually get more difficult throughout the school year. I will say, to Steve's point, that is absolutely true that we have several different Python courses, several different JavaScript courses, but I'm doing the JavaScript ones right now, and they started off the school year with like questions about how do you make a comment in JavaScript, and questions about decomposition and algorithms, and that very like intro level content. And then today for loops came out of nowhere, so I was like, well, okay, here we go. But it, as students should be working through probably Carol JavaScript right now and probably are learning about loops. So yeah, if you find, Angela, that you have feedback about the alignment, like, please send that to our team. We love feedback. The curriculum team loves to hear from teachers about how these tools actually work in the classroom. And, the more voices chime in on a specific curriculum feature that is great or is not working so well, the speedier it jumps the list of priorities for updates. So
Okay. I think we got through everyone. But yeah, if you have other ideas added into that shared document. But I think the Python one was asking Tracy questions, and I'm not doing Tracy yet, so yeah. Okay. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So now I'm gonna pass it back to Stephanie.
yes. All right. Well, this has been a fantastic 51 minutes together already. We've covered a lot of ground, and I hope that you all feel like you've found some great resources and shared some great ideas together. The chat was popping, which we always love, and I very much appreciate your willingness to come on camera, to come off mute, and to participate and share your ideas and your resources. I have been adding some folks's ideas to our shared notepad document. Some links I've added to that shared notepad document as we've gone along here. So definitely check that out. You have access to that notepad document and these slides for as long as you need them. And so we will make sure to put those in the chat maybe one more time here before we leave, but you will also get a follow-up email from us with those links as well, and a recording of today's session. So lots of resources to go back to if you think of something in the future that you want to revisit. So as I said at the top of the hour, this professional learning community is an ongoing meeting, and we hope that you'll be able to join us for each of our quarterly meetings. So go ahead and mark your calendars for November 18th. You can't register for that session yet, but we do hope you'll be able to join us. And if it's on your calendar, maybe when that banner comes across when you log into CodeHS, or when you get a marketing email in our newsletter with a PLC reminder, we hope you'll sign up and join us again to continue to share, to continue to explore this Cortado course and this new College Board content together. So Kim helps me pick, well, Kim does all the work. Kim picks the topics each time, but she's such an amazing CSA teacher that she picks fantastic discussion topics. And so we'll be talking about pacing each time we meet. Again, that's once a quarter. We'd love to talk about AI tools, how you're using that as you teach AP, how you're inviting students to use AI tools as they learn this CSA curriculum. Alternative exercises that are available. Well, actually, Steve, they probably don't have alternative exercises for Cortado, right? Because brand new course. But you know, if you have some resources that you're using, we don't have an updated digital textbook yet, but we're hoping we've left it on the list here because we're hoping our curriculum team gets around to that soon. And we'd love to know what you want to discuss. So you can tell us that by filling out our survey here. And so Kim, let's go to the next. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. Kim and Steve will answer them. I have posted the slides link. Oh, good point, Mark. There are, yes, lots of practice Java exercises. So maybe we can talk about those next time for sure. We always have tons more help here at CodeHS. No teacher is an island here. And I know that many of you are the only CS teacher in your building, maybe even in your district at this CSA level. And so we hope you join us. Kim, you really like the CSA CodeHS Facebook group, right?
Yes, but that one in the CSP Facebook group, I get a lot out of those, lots of resources. I'm constantly clicking and then emailing myself the link that I get.
Love it. Well, if you have a Facebook account, please find the CodeHS CSA and CSP groups, and hopefully, like Kim, you'll find a lot of useful information there. And then, okay, next slide is our survey. So we would love to hear from you. I'll put this link in the chat. What was great and helpful today, what you want to talk about in the future. So please take just this next 2-3 minutes to fill out that survey. If you have any additional questions for Kim or Steve, put them in the chat. And thank you so much for spending this hour with us. This has been lovely. I absolutely love to talk shop with educators. I know Steve does too. And, you know, we really appreciate all that you do for your students. And I learned some today too. So thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Great to see you,
everyone.
Thomas. Yes, please join us again in November.
Okay.
And Mark, I know I'll see you.
Steve, thanks for sharing how to do the quiz or the question of the day, how to see all of them. I'm excited to share that with the kids now.
Yeah, no problem. It's fun. I like that it does a little heat map. So you can also see percentages by like which days were like just by question too. Like you can see like, oh, okay, like only 45% of my students got this one correct. So like we'll talk about this one in class. Or yeah, it's cool. It's nice that data is readily available for you.
Cool.
I actually think that Quiz Scores app is a underrated CodeHS feature for
Agreed.
summative assessment.
Yeah, I need to check it out.
I didn't know it existed until I started working here. So that's how underrated it is.
There's a lot of features that I go, oh, didn't know it was there.
Yeah,
Which is why these groups are so awesome. So
I
thank
agree,
you.
100%.
All right. Well, Kim, thanks so much for leading us and picking these fantastic topics. And we'll see everybody in November.
Right.
Okay.
Bye.
See ya.